Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Welcome back to another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, Billy Corgan's NWA. And we are back here for night one of our NWA Super Cup, which is going to be pretty cool. It's a mid-carder to lower mid-carder little tournament, 16-man double bracket tournament. Should be pretty fun. Pretty excited, and as I said, like, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to see in wrestling, give an opportunity to the younger up-and-comer performers to have a chance to compete for the highest position on the card. Something that's fun, something that gives them something to do, gives them momentum. It's a win-win. Even if they lose their opportunity, obviously, you know, they're going to get a huge rub by fighting with the Giants. And boy, if they win that opportunity, what a shakeup would that be, right? So it's going to be a little risky because we're doing a 3-night tournament. So we're doing a lot more than we normally do. But the people that we're mostly having on the roster are a lot cheaper. So it could be interesting. We're going to have some matches to fill it out. Obviously, we're going to have a little bit of star power at the end, but could be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and let's see. First, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. Mike Rollins and Chuck Taylor are friends. I guess they're fighting in Smash Wrestling. Wow, you're pretty popular. Who are you? I don't know who you are. I don't follow the Canadian circuit, so I have no idea who this guy is. Oh, you're too much money, though. I was looking, there was some, in between the game, there were some interesting firings at the WWE. I'll show you guys in a second. Might want to pick up, but I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm not going to do it until you guys say yes or no. So we'll go and take a look at that in a second. Fully fit. I mean, I feel like our roster is pretty strong, but I always like to have new talent because we can always let people go that we're feeling are a little lackluster. And there's some people here that momentum is not great. That, you know, we could probably get rid of John Schuyler or something like that. And, you know, there's people we can get rid of and start to groom our division a little bit better. We especially want star power. We want people with name recognition. Does it show us here what their general popularity is? I don't think so. No, it does not. Who's our most recent to expire? I've flipped with a 5-year something crazy. But yeah, 88 days. Daniels is expiring. We'll have to up that. He's cost a lot of money though. Jesus. I don't see it. But there's people. I mean, we should probably look at our who's not in our creative meeting and kind of give us an idea of who we want to get rid of. Like Rachel, Rory, Nemeth, Dickinson, Elliott. Poor momentum. I mean, that's our fault, but also at the same time, you know, we're booking them that way for a reason. Maybe we want to up the ante a little bit. Maybe make a stronger lower mid-card range. So anyways, yes, I wanted to show you guys this. So I'm going through the Fed, and I'm looking at alumni, because that's the easiest way to see who has recently left the company. And there's some interesting stuff. You know, I mean, there's people we knew already, but kind of going down the list here. I mean, Kurt Hennig, Well, no, Kurt Hennig's not. I'm thinking Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins. If I could hire Kurt Hennig, that would be cool. But I think this part makes it a little difficult. Darren Young obviously is gone already. Is still unemployed, which is interesting. And not a bad popularity for our region. Could be useful. I don't know how much he costs. 1,100. So not horrible. He would basically probably be a mid-eventer or upper mid-carder for us, which, I mean, it could go either way with it. Dustin, Gold Dust himself, with a lot of popularity, and obviously a wealth of experience everywhere. I mean, He's old though. He's definitely not what he could be anymore. But it would be kind of interesting to bring Cody, his brother. Costs not horrible, not a horrible cost. And we could probably have it for like a special attraction or something. We don't have to put him on every show. Could be interesting. Ho-Ho Loon is gone. Not very popular, but had a lot of ability. You know, I don't know. Actually, can he wrestle? He can wrestle in the United States. Very cheap too. Wow, he's 31. Jeez, I thought he was much younger. So not a bad option. I thought he was a lot younger. So I thought, I'm like, well, he's a rookie. That wouldn't be bad. I think there's a language barrier issue, but could be a good mid-carder. Junior heavyweight, maybe even. Let's see, who else do I have here? Jim Ross, unfortunately, in our game is deceased. Oh, Naomi. With strong performance, average, everything else, but a hell of a lot of popularity. And, be one of the most expensive female wrestlers that we have. But definitely brings in the popularity front. Not a bad idea. R-Truth left and is currently unemployed. I mean, I believe he's a former NWA champion. Actually, there he is. Yes, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So, this we don't know when that was, but I'm pretty sure it was like 98, something when TNA was turning into, when NWA was turning into TNA at that time. He's older, certainly. A lot of years pro though. Pretty strong popularity. Probably costs a lot though. $1,200, not the end of the world. All of them are within that range. And then Summer Rae and Tamina. If you guys think we could do something, here's one I was thinking, like Zack Ryder. Pretty strong. Actually, he's kind of under his performances. I kind of would have thought his wrestling would have been better. Only 33, but 14 years pro. Got a long line of history with him. Very popular, though. I mean, 49, 50 popularity. That might be higher than Cody, even. Let's see. I mean, Cody's popularity is... Cody's just 68. Cody's definitely our most popular. But he might be up there with one of our most popular. A little bit under Enzo. Nick Aldis. About Nick Aldis range. Which is not bad. I mean, that could really bring a lot to us. I don't know. Let me know. And let me know in the comments. Any of those names that you guys want, any of them. I think some of them are worth grabbing, but that's just me. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the show. Let's see what's going on here. All right. C-Dub ad. Man, our backstage, by the way, looking pretty good. Only person missing right now is Rhonda, who's out for an MMA fight training. Best venue. I don't want to go to a place that actually, how many people? 1,700. No. Gotta get rid of that because I thought I got rid of it. Okay, so I needed something around the 2,400 range again. We might do it in Sioux Center again, even. Well, actually, last time we only had 21. So why don't we go for... Let's do a 2,000 sellout. Is any of these a hotbed? I mean, that's the other option. We could do the sudden impact zone because it is a hotbed, which I believe gives us a bonus on everything. But we would sell out. It wouldn't be worth it. So I feel like going forward, what we should really do is when we do get some money back in, make another location and do something like at 4,000. It's pricey though, because we screwed up that sudden impact zone, unfortunately. Okay, so we're gonna be at the West Fair Amphitheater. And I don't think there's nothing's going on here. Let's medal again. Flip and Brian Pillman. Nothing. Okay. All right. So we're going to go book this. So it's night one in the Super Cup. So most of the show, in fact, I think all of the show will be Super Cup matches. So this will probably be the first 8. And then night 2 will be the final 4. And then night 3 will be the finals with other matches in between. So let's go ahead and let's book it, see what we got. All right, and we are back here for night 1 of the NWA Super Cup. So as you guys know, this is going to be mostly a tournament show, so we didn't do a lot of storyline. There's a little bit scattered in between, obviously. And we do have a main event as a tag match, just to kind of have some of the bigger names on the show so they don't get too upset and we leave the crowd happy. But anyways, let's start with night 1, which will be 8 matches for the Cup. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we start with Cody Rhodes coming out in a very similar fashion that he typically does, where he kind of starts as a face and then starts to insult everybody. So he comes out and saying that, as the NWA Worlds Heavyweight Champion, it brings him a great honor to see such a strong competition here in the NWA. It's something that he knows that his father, Dusty Rhodes, would be proud of. But he is absolutely sick at how pathetic this lineup is. So you're giving these people a chance, these schmucks, and he starts to listen to people. Dalton Castle should have a walker right now. And you're expecting him to go through this tournament to challenge me? Simon Gotch? Isn't he a tag team guy? Why is he even here? Flip Gordon is the worst human being in the world. Bull James couldn't even make it in the NXT, and you want him to fight me in through the Super Cup? PJ Black? Who? Tim Storm? Doesn't he have a school? Doesn't he have a classroom to teach? He's just going through the whole list. So, he's going through, he's insulting the whole crew. And he basically says, good luck, but no one's going to beat me. Don't bother trying. And of course, Brandy's out there the whole time, kind of being his manager and kind of doing the weird laugh thing whenever he's talking and mentioning it. Does pretty well, gets the show off to a strong start. And we initialize the tournament. So, let's first go through the bracket here, which we'll put up on the screen real quick. So what we're starting off with here is Brian Pillman versus Elliott Russell. And what we end up having is a quick match, 9 minutes. Brian Pillman defeats Elliott Russell with a tornado DDT. Brian Pillman's a better wrestler, not by much, but This was a work the crowd match, but I didn't expect Cody to get them as hot as he did, so it was kind of poorly placed. But either way, Brian Pillman ends up moving on, defeating Elliott Russell, and moving on to the next part of the bracket. Going through the other side of the bracket now, we have Bull James versus Ryan Nemeth. The match sucks, apparently, but it got the crowd buzzing. It is a beatdown, mayhem slogfest. Bull James is just tearing through Ryan like he is just a wet sack of cloth. Like, he is swinging him around, throwing him over the barricade, knocking him into people, smashing tables. He destroys him in 7 minutes. It's a bad match, but the crowd liked it. Well, actually, no, they didn't. Overbooking didn't sit well with them. Well, too bad. But it got them buzzing for sure. But what that does mean is that Bull James let out some of his aggression on Ryan Nemeth, who we know he has a bit of a problem with in the past, and moves on into the tournament. Going back to the other side of the bracket, we have Tim Storm versus Corey Hollis. And Tim Storm actually ekes a win here, which is kind of unexpected. He, in 6 minutes, gets a pinfall. It's a flash pinfall. And goes ahead and basically moves on after taking a win from Corey Hollis. Not much to say here. It was a cool down match. I just kind of wanted to simmer it down a little bit, so it was a little bit slower, a little bit better for the pace that Tim has. And it worked pretty well. It cooled him down a little bit. Corey is improving his performance skills, which is good. D-, not great. Also D- here going up. Same bracket, but now we have Mike Verna versus PJ Black. Not great here, but PJ Black ekes a win off of Mike Verna with a 450 splash. Not much to say about this match, but we do move PJ Black on, which means that he will be facing Tim Storm in his next match. But I thought PJ would have carried the match better. You know, it's the thing about these lower mid card tournaments though is that some of these guys just their momentum, their popularity, and their skill level just makes for a weaker rated performance. Speaking of which, on the other side, we have Rory Gulak versus the Disciple Icarus, which doesn't do great. Rory Gulak is not his brother, and it certainly shows in this match. It dragged a little bit in the middle. It was a longer, more technical match, and it just didn't really click. Sucks. But in the end, Icarus defeats Rory Gulak, gives him a submission with the Burning Wings, and then moves on. Same side of the bracket, we have Simon Gotch versus Jimmy Jacobs. Also not a great match. Got the crowd hotter, though. Jimmy Jacobs is still kind of hinting at his face turn. And then, of course, Jimmy actually loses this match, unfortunately. Simon just gets the better of him, moves on, which means Gotch will be facing Bull James in round 2. But Jimmy gets a little bit of applause. He shakes Gotch's hand, starting to show a little bit more sportsmanship. He just was bested, but he showed a good game out there. Anyone do anything? No. Fortunately, afterwards, Sami Callihan comes running out, and he jumps a barricade and starts smashing Jimmy Jacobs as he's trying to leave the scene, and just starts smashing him, and ends up kind of, pretty much wrecking Jimmy Jacobs, trying to get as much sympathy for Jacobs as possible. Let's go ahead and complete the turn here for both of them as they switch. Jimmy Jacobs' turn didn't go well, but Sami for some reason was a face in our roster. I don't understand why. I guess we never changed him, so we fully completed it, but now things are back where it should be. Jimmy is a face again. Sami is a heel. We move on. Same side of the bracket. We have Flip Gordon versus John Schuyler. Not a great match, but Flip was just definitely carrying the match. He took a big stunt bump in it, which looked pretty good. Hopefully he didn't get injured. I don't think he did. But Flip ends up taking the win, getting a nice shooting star press, and ends up moving on, which means that he will be fighting the Disciple Icarus in the next round. Yeah, he looks like he was fine. Moving on over to the other side of the bracket, we have Dalton Castle versus Ricky Reyes. Again, a pretty bad match. Ricky Reyes is really carrying down the match. They have good chemistry, though. That's interesting. This is a longer match. This was like 20 minutes and probably could have been cut down a little bit shorter. But Dalton ends up taking the win and ends up submitting Reyes, which means he moves on to face Brian Pillman Jr. in the second round. And then finally, we have a nice go-home tag team with some of the main eventers. We have basically NWA Bullet Club versus the Cult of Josephus with Chris Daniels and Sami Callihan. It's a good go-home, I think. Match got the crowd hotter. They all did pretty well. Ends up that, I believe, Cody takes the... ends up actually pinning Chris Daniels with the Crossroads. Chris Daniels is really good in the ring. Way better than all of them. But man, not bad. Cody's improving his Rumble. Hangman's improving his performance. This is a good match. It's a good match to get Hangman some more rub between these guys. Having Cody win over this helps Hangman a little bit. C+ is pretty good. This show overall is going to be pretty poorly ranked, though, just because of the first round. We probably could have actually, C- is not that bad. In hindsight, though, I probably could have cut a few minutes off of some of these matches. The Dalton Castle match, a couple others, maybe added an extra match to fluff it up a little bit. But not bad. C- was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. That was pretty cool. So let's go ahead and make some speeches. I think I want to call out PJ Black for good performance. No one did anything bad. No one should be really upset either. I think we do need to give Jimmy Jacobs some encouragement because he had a pretty bad face turn. The crowd didn't really like it. I'm sure he's going to be pretty upset about that. And let's just praise Chris Daniels because we should always praise Chris Daniels. Just found out recently that he's in charge of the Universal Studios and Hollywood Waterworld show, which is kind of crazy. Would not thought that was his other job, but that's kind of interesting. Tell him he's awesome. You're awesome, Chris Daniels. That's true. So, with that is night 1 completed. To go back over that Super Cup roster again, night 2, we are looking at Dalton Castle versus Brian Pillman Jr., PJ Black versus Tim Storm, Simon Gotch versus Bull James, Icarus, the Disciple Icarus versus Flip Gordon. You guys, be cool. Let me know in the comments below who you think is going to win as we move on to the end of the Super Cup. I have it all written out on some actual paper, so it's not changing. So I'm not going to pull your legs, and then whoever they vote the most on wins. But I'll be curious to see who you guys think are going to win. I'll give a shout out to anyone that got it right on night 3. So go ahead and put that down in the comments. It'll be a lot of fun to see what you guys think. Let's go ahead and check these real quick. Cody Rhodes is hurting a little bit. That's fine. Raven, man, really hates Jimmy Jacobs. Overall, not bad. Still losing money. Just don't know what to do. I might actually reduce my production costs even more. How much would it cost to go down? Okay, I can't do that. I actually physically can't lower those without being below my costs $3,000 per show for live experience. Right now it costs $7,500. Only one show has a better live experience. Everybody else has a worse. Let's downgrade. Let's go down to medium. This will save us some money. $3,000 per show. So so we're now at the similar level. So NXT and Ring of Honor, I believe if this works correctly, are going to get a boost over us in ratings when head to head with them. But we're at par with these other guys and still better than these. I don't think we want to go lower. That seems about where we want to be. So let's go ahead and keep that. I think that'll help us a little bit. Still tough, tell you. I think Billy Corgan's gonna need to do a concert soon and give us another $100,000 because we're not looking good here. Anyways, guys, once again, I would love to see your predictions for the Super Cup winner. Go ahead and put it down in the comments below. Same thing if you guys want to. If you guys want to go ahead and tell me who you think I should hire from WWE now that they're unemployed from that list, go ahead on that Twitter link that we had earlier, or of course, you can always put it down in the comments below as well. Love to interact with you guys and see what you have to think. Please, if you can, go ahead and follow me on Twitter because I do like to post a lot of stuff about the upcoming stuff that we're doing here. Gives me a good instant feedback from you guys. I like to book based on what you guys want to see. Obviously, I have my own vision, but I like to work with what you guys want as well. So being able to interact with you is super great, and you guys always have awesome ideas that I will shamelessly steal to try to improve the NWA. But I love to hear from you guys. So, you guys follow me would even just make it a lot better and a lot easier to communicate back and forth. Anyways, that is it for today. We will see you again for Night 2 of the NWA Super Cup. Thanks for watching.